I have started this story out loud maybe 40 times, alone in my truck, just to hear whether it sounds insane. It does. So I am going to tell it to you plainly and let you decide, because I am done being the only person who carries it. The phone that called us for 11 straight nights had no battery in it. I held it in my own hands. The compartment was empty. I want that to sit with you the way it sits with me, because everything I am about to tell you happened around that one fact, and there is no version of it where that fact goes away. My name does not matter. What matters is that I coordinated search and rescue in the North Cascades for 19 years, and I was the person the county called when they needed a level head. I have carried bodies down off ridgelines. I have knocked on doors at 4 in the morning and watched a face come apart. I know exactly what a tired mind does on hour 30 of a search, how it hears its own name in running water and sees a lost man in every fallen log. I know all of it. I spent a career being the one who does not flinch. So when I tell you a dead phone called us, understand that I spent 2 years trying to make it into anything else. This is what is left after I failed. It began on a Tuesday in October with a hiker named Aaron Feld. 34, strong, careful, out alone on the Cutter Ridge Loop, a trail a fit person clears in 6 hours. His truck logged in at the trailhead at 7:40 in the morning. His sister reported him overdue at 9 that night, apologizing the whole Corps for wasting our time, the way decent people always do right before the worst week of their lives. Here is the thing you should know about how we work, because it becomes important. Before we send a single boot up a trail, we build the missing person on paper. Age, fitness, gear, habits, point last seen. From that, we draw a probability circle, the shape on the map where a person like this, in terrain like this, actually ends up. Aaron was fit, well-equipped, phone-charged. People like that do not wander. They get hurt, they hold still, they wait to be found. The whole job is to find where they stopped and go there. Remember that. Hold still and wait. That is the advice that keeps people alive. That is also the advice that is going to matter more than anything else I say tonight. The first call came in at 2 in the morning during the hasty search. Our dispatcher took it from Aaron's own number. She said hello 3 times. No voice, just wind, and underneath the wind, something slow that might have been breathing, and then the line dropped. We were relieved. A live phone means a live person and a signal we can chase. We pushed the carrier, got an emergency ping, and the tower put his phone a mile northeast of the trailhead. That was the first wrong thing, and I nearly walked right past it. Northeast was not up the mountain toward the loop. It was back down, toward the road, straight through the ground we had cleared in the first hour. So we cleared it again, slower, calling his name into the dark. Nothing. No pack, no tracks, no phone. While my 2 searchers were standing on the exact coordinates the ping had given us, calling his name, another call came into base from his number. Same wind, same breathing, and the new ping put the phone half a mile further northeast. It had moved, away from the people looking for it, at the speed of a person walking. A phone does not walk itself downhill, somebody carries it. So I built the theory I hated, which is that Aaron was awake, mobile, and running from us. It happens more than you would think. Head injuries make people flee help. Late hypothermia makes them hide, actually crawl into brush and pull it over themselves like a child. I have found people tucked in hollow logs 100 feet from a road who had lain there listening to us shout their names for hours. So I widened the search downhill, and I told my team carefully that we might be chasing someone who did not want to be found. That is when the quiet thing started. My dispatcher, Wren, 10 years steady, not a dramatic bone in her, waved me over near dawn and turned her screen to me. "Look at the log," she said. There were 4 calls listed from Aaron's number, but Wren had only answered 2. The other 2 showed as received and connected 30 seconds each, except her phone never rang and no one on our end ever picked up. 2 calls the system swore we had answered that no living person had touched. I told her it was a carrier glitch. She looked at me for a second too long and said, then explained the number they connected to. And she pointed. The 2 phantom calls had not come into our line at all. They had connected to an old dispatch extension, an analog channel we decommissioned more than a decade ago, a line that no longer routes anywhere. A dead number answered 2 calls that night, and I wrote data error on the board and made myself stop thinking about it, because a man was freezing on a mountain and dead phone lines do not get hypothermia. We found his pack that afternoon, and it broke my theory in half. Not northeast. West and high, up on the ridge, exactly where a strong hiker actually goes. Water bottles full, food untouched. His jacket folded neatly on top of the pack. A cold man does not fold his jacket. Under the jacket, laid out in a row, were his wallet and his keys and his ID, arranged like a man who wanted to be identified. Everything a person carries was there, set out with care, except the one thing that was still calling us from a mile away in the wrong direction. I have thought about that folded jacket every day since. He set himself out like belongings in a lost and found. We brought in the dogs, which are the honest instrument, because a dog does not carry a theory. The dogs worked up to the pack, circled, and then quit. Sat down, looked at their handlers. There was no trail leading away. To the dogs, it was as if Aaron had walked to that rock, folded his jacket, and stopped existing in a way they could smell. And every night, the calls kept coming. Always his number, always between 2 and 4. By the 3rd night, they were not silent anymore. There was sound in them now. Wren recorded one and played it for me in the truck with the doors shut, and I made her play it a second time, and then I told her to turn it off, and I sat there with my hands flat on my knees. It was us, our own radio traffic, my searchers calling Aaron's name, the specific voices of specific people, Dana and Petrov, and the kid whose name I am keeping out of this. The audio of our own search, coming back at us through the missing man's phone. Except it was not from that night. Wren checked it against the logs. The words in the call had been transmitted by my team 11 hours earlier, from a grid 2 miles off, on a channel that phone had no way of hearing. And here is the part that took the floor out from under me, the part I have never told a soul until now. The delay was shrinking. The first playback ran 11 hours behind us. The next night, 4 hours. The night after, 40 minutes. Whatever was on that phone was not just repeating us, it was catching up. And on the 6th night, it stopped being behind us at all. Wren took a call at 2:15 and heard my own voice say, "Clear as anything, Donna. Check the north drainage." And she looked at me because I had not said it. I had not keyed a radio all night. I said it 4 hours later, at dawn, when we finally worked the north drainage. The phone did not echo us anymore. It had started telling us what we were going to do before we did it. God help me, I used it once. The next night, a call came in my own voice, giving a grid up near the false summit. Clean coordinates, the kind of specific I would kill for in a real search. And I was so far past pretending by then that I sent 2 people straight to it at first light. They found 1 boot print in the soft ground and nothing else. 1, pressed deep and square, the way a print sets when someone stands in one place a long time, and it was facing downhill, back toward us, as if whoever made it had been watching the valley and waiting. It was Dana's tread and Dana's size. Dana had been standing at my shoulder at base all night. I never followed the phone again, because that was the moment I stopped believing it was trying to help me find Aaron. It was showing me it already had someone up there, holding position, exactly where I would have thought to send my own people. Petrov, one of my best, took a call on his own handset the next morning. He would not tell me what it said, not then and not ever. He came down off the mountain slow and careful, the way a man walks when he does not trust his own legs, and he set his radio in my hands like it was something that might go off. This is a man who has dug children out of avalanche debris without his voice shaking. His voice was shaking now. He told me he was done. Not for the season, for good. I have known him 20 years. He would not meet my eyes. All he got out before he drove away was that the phone had called him by name, and then called him by name again in his own voice from the other side of the line, and that neither one of those voices had been any of us. He has not spoken to me since. On the 5th day, a fisherman found the phone, downstream in the river, wedged under a rock in the northeast drainage, exactly where the pings had been walking all along. Cracked open, waterlogged, dead. My tech pried off the back to pull the SIM card and stopped and turned it toward me. The battery compartment was empty. "Someone took the battery out," he said. And I said, "Then tell me what has been calling us." And he had nothing, and neither did I, and we stood by that water a long time without a single word between us. The next morning we found Aaron Feld, and I need you to hear this clearly, because everyone assumes I am telling a ghost story about a dead man. He was alive, 3 miles from his pack, in a drainage we had cleared twice, sitting upright against a tree, starved and frozen and barely conscious, but alive. And when Dana reached him, before water, before anything, the first thing out of his mouth was, "Why did you keep telling me to hold position?" We never told him that. We never reached Aaron once. His phone had been dead in an evidence bag in my truck for a full day. But in the hospital, 2 days later, lucid and calm and terrified, he told me the same thing 4 different ways. His phone rang the first night he was lost, and it was us. Search and rescue. A man's voice, steady and professional, the exact voice you pray to hear when you think you're going to die on a mountain. And the voice told him to stay exactly where he was. Hold position. Conserve energy. Do not move in the dark, or you will only take yourself further from the team. So he held. He folded his jacket because the voice told him rescue was close and he wanted to be ready to move fast. He laid out his wallet and his keys so we could name him if he lost consciousness. He did everything right. He did everything the voice said. And every single time he thought about standing up and walking toward the sound of the actual river, toward the actual road, the phone rang again and the voice said, "No, hold, we are coming. Do not move." It kept him on that mountain for 5 days. The voice that saved his life by keeping him warm and still was the same voice that nearly killed him by never once letting him leave. And Aaron gripped my wrist in that hospital bed and swore to me that the voice was mine. Not like mine. Mine. He said the man on the phone was me. So now I have to tell you the part that is mine, the part I built the last 19 years on top of, so I would never have to look at it. Before I ran that county, my first seasons, I was just a searcher, and I had a partner named Dell. Dell trained me. Dell taught me the paper, the probability circles, the discipline of the whole thing. And in my second year, we lost a hiker on that same ridge in a storm that came in faster than the forecast swore it would. And Del climbed to an exposed saddle to reach a last known position, and the weather slammed shut around him, and I was the voice on the radio down at base. And I told him to hold. I told him to hold position and wait it out, because I was young and I was correct by the book. And the book says you do not move exposed personnel in a whiteout. I told my partner to stay exactly where he was. The break in the weather did not come for 11 hours. When it did, we climbed up and found Del still holding position, precisely where I had put him, and he had been dead since somewhere in the middle of the night. He did everything right. He did everything I said. We never fully recovered him. That saddle sheds its snow in spring and carries what it holds down into the drainage below. Del's call sign was Rescue 4. I retired it the week we buried what we found of him. In 19 years, I never assigned it to another soul. And that old decommissioned dispatch line, the dead extension that answered 2 calls the night Aaron went missing, that was Del's line. That was the channel Rescue 4 called in on. I decommissioned it myself, after. On the 9th night, the phone in the evidence bag in my truck, the cracked one, the empty one, called the base at 3:11 in the morning. Wren answered because she is incapable of letting a call ring out. She came and got me from the cot room, white to the lips, and put the receiver in my hand. Radio traffic again. But old, degraded. The specific dead hiss of the analog units we stopped using more than a decade ago. And under the hiss, I heard my own voice. Younger, steadier than I have ever actually felt, saying the words I have said to myself alone every night for 19 years. Rescue 4, hold your position. Hold your position and wait. We are coming to you. And then from somewhere very far down inside the sound, quiet, patient, not angry, a voice answered the transmission. It said, "Copy, holding." Del never said copy that night. I have the real recording. I have played it 10,000 times. The last thing Del ever put on the air was my name once, turned up at the end like a question, and then nothing for 11 hours. There is no copy, there is no holding. But on a phone with no battery, at 3:11 in the morning, somebody finally answered the order I gave 19 years ago and told me they were holding and that they would keep holding forever because I was the one who told them to. That was the night I understood what the delay had been doing. It was never echoing us. It was working its way toward the present, patiently, from the past, to reach the one night it needed me on the line. It kept a stranger frozen to a tree for 5 days using my voice, because my voice is the one that tells people to hold and wait and not move. And it had been waiting 19 years to make me hear what that sounds like from the other end. I understand how this sounds. I have had 2 years, and I still cannot find a word for it I trust. The report I filed says equipment malfunction and psychological strain on personnel. It is signed. It is a lie. I signed it because there is no line on the form for the truth, and because a version of me still believes that if I do not write a thing down, it cannot finish happening. But here is the one part that was mine to decide, and it is the reason I am telling you any of this. I did not turn in that phone. I kept it. It sits on my nightstand, cracked and empty, next to a charger it does not need and is not plugged into, and every few nights around 3 in the morning the screen lights up with his number. And I answer it, every time. But I do not tell it to hold anymore. I say the thing I did not know to say on the night it would have saved my partner, the exact opposite of the order that killed him and nearly killed a stranger who did everything right. I say, do not hold, do not wait for me. Get up and move. Move toward the water. Move toward the light. Do not stay where I put you. I am not coming. Stop waiting for me to come. And I will tell you something I have told no one. The morning after the first night I said it, the 9th night, is the morning we found Aaron alive. 3 miles from his pack, in ground we had already cleared, in a place he could only have reached if something finally let him stand up and walk. I have never been able to decide whether I saved him or whether I simply, finally, gave the right order to the wrong line. Because here is where it does not close, and where I have to leave you, because I cannot close it either. Most nights now the phone just breathes and goes dark. But twice, only twice, after I have said, "Move," before the line drops, someone has answered me. Not old radio. Not my own voice. A real person, close, exhausted. The way you sound after a very long time of being made to stay still. Both times it said the same single word. It said, "Okay." And I have not slept a full night since the second time, because Aaron Feld came home. He is alive. I checked. He is alive, and he will not take my calls. So I know for a fact that one of the 2 men I told to move is safe and warm and never wants to hear my voice again. Which means every night now I sit up with a dead phone against my ear, telling someone to get up and walk toward the light, and I still do not know which one of them is still out there, or which one of them I am actually reaching, or which one of them keeps saying "okay" and has not moved yet.